Mysore was a well-known princely state. This story is an episode in the life of a worker with his son having to take his own journey and escape from a routine. It was 6 a.m., and Mali awakens to the sound in the kitchen. Indeed, there was no divider that separated the kitchen from their sleeping place. The entire house is burnt with smoke and gotten so dull it's without a doubt you would trip if you're a first time guest. The house has only one window. Sun is just a wellspring of light. Water is now hot for him to wash up and prepare for his work. They must be brisk. They need to ride 6 miles on a bicycle. His son Gopi is awake as well. His mother bared him when she was only 17. It was nothing unexpected, it was normal. Gopi had been working in the godown with his father for nearly 6 years now. He has no intention to proceed with his father's trades. He needed to accomplish something else. He needed freedom. Gopi respects his friend who sells tea in Devraj market. It is the most seasoned and the biggest market in Mysore. He isn't sure how to tell his fantasy to be a tea seller to his father. He is very certain his father won't be content with this, but he has no other decision. One day, while in transit to work, he gathers all his courage and opens up about his dream. His father's answer was, "It's a decent dream, trust it stays a fantasy." However, he would not like to give up. His father's words crushed him. Mali gets bothered, drops him in the street. "You have a luxury of riding back on a cycle. You have to walk, you will realize. And come quick, we are already late." He's standing in the street. Gopi needs to decide on the choice either to return straight to work or to take a turn to meet his friend. Mali arrives at the godown. They frequently hit their head to the door jamb if they neglect to dodge their head, particularly when they're getting out. It's not an issue when they're entering with their backs bent with the heaviness of gunny bag. The godown was dark and it was difficult to breathe. They nearly needed to hold their breath till they left the godown, and it was crowded as well. Each evening, when the sun turned pinkish red, it was a routine for them to gather up to collect 20 paisa as their everyday wage. That day, when he was holding up the line, he understood that Gopi had made his choice, despite the fact he had cautioned him. Gopi's life was to turn the alternate way, which he was consistently terrified of. On the other hand, the only thing Gopi needed was a tea flask loaded with tea, and he could make his everyday living. Gopi used to throw a quick smile at his clients and proceeded onward as he heard yells from others. His way was crisscross and was snappy. He was amidst people. He was to become one of them. He never thought it was hard to find customers, as it was Devraj market. It was always filled with people. His team made all the difference in the market, and he met new people constantly. It was an escapade. His workplace was whole of market. He never sat down for long. His work needed him to move continuously, which he adored. He discovered something that he could never discover in his father's way. It was energizing to him. Same evening, his father gets back home late. He doesn't wash his feet. He isn't hungry. He has something to declare to his family. It's quite important. "I lost my job," he says. However, it was nothing unexpected. He had never realized it would come this early. Gopi always knew this. The city was overwhelming the godown. The authorities had no interest in keeping up the structure. Spiders had just taken control over the corners to settle. They could get a glimpse of the sky from the roof. The entryways weren't bolting correctly. The godown had indications of its end. was the right time for his son to convince to join him and abandon things. Father, look, my life has become so exciting now. I know everybody. I'm constantly occupied. I have no time to talk to people I meet. It's always different. I may be lost in the midst of normal. However, it's my own escapade. People perceive and love me for being one of them. I'm a common. Come, we should do this together. There was silence. He didn't get any answer. The godown was Mali's second home. He lived half of his life working there. He was bound to that place. He had not seen the rest of the city, consistently terrified of things to come and people around him. He has no subsequent plans except for to simply follow his daily practice of his regular existence. There were boards up which said Kayakave Kailasa, which meant work is worship, and a large clock reminded them to work hard and not to waste time. The godown is very large for its time, right around 20 times larger than his own house, however, made with similar materials as of entire Mysore. The godown isn't only a place to work, it's where he made his life. He even met his wife there. That's a totally different story. The fate of the family is in Gopi's hands. The way he takes will decide the destiny of the family. His father's destiny was foreordained, yet he doesn't have the foggiest idea where his destiny lies, where his choice may take him. The end.